So it just has been confirmed that The Witcher 4 is set for a 2028 release date. Yes, I am using IGN's website. No, don't judge me, but anyway. It does seem here that The Witcher 4 is targeting a 2028 release window, confirmed by CDPR. So it's already crazy enough that we're gonna get a Witcher 3 Wild Hunt expansion this year. Oh, sorry, next year. It's an over 10-year-old game at this point, and we're getting an expansion for it, which will be basically a tie-in between The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 4, who's gonna be having another protagonist. So instead of playing as Geralt in this one, we're gonna be playing as Ciri, as confirmed by the trailer. But we're gonna get that expansion to basically act as a bridge between Geralt as a protagonist and Ciri, so I don't really know what's gonna involve, but why does it feel like we've seen this before? It's probably because in 2015, Bethesda released Fallout 4. In May of that year, so a few months before that, CDPR released The Witcher 3, which didn't seem like a big explosion at its release. It actually got more and more popular since Bethesda released Fallout 4, who was basically not as much of an RPG. It wasn't as well received as their past games. And then people went to play The Witcher 3, and then that became their game of the year. It was actually voted the game of the year by Jeff Keighley back in 2015, instead of Fallout, which a lot of people, probably Todd Howard included, was expecting, because Bethesda used to be getting rewards left and right. And then this other game came out, not out of nowhere, but not a lot of people were expecting it to be as big as it actually was, and stole that award from them. So that happened once, right? When Starfield released in 2023, that was also the release of an expansion for Cyberpunk 2077, which had an awful release, to be fair, but it did get an expansion called Phantom Liberty. And people on the internet were comparing Starfield with Cyberpunk 2077 as of its date in 2023. So not the launch release, but like after it got the final expansion. I personally haven't played Cyberpunk yet, but it's one of the top games that I really am excited to play. I just never get the chance to actually get into it, because I do know that I really want to dive deep into that game. So I do want to find a very simple spot to put, but now with GTA 6 coming on the horizon, it's very hard to implement that game. But anyway, that's just like me talking. So it's not only once that Bethesda was compared to CDPR, it actually happened twice. If I had two nickels, am I right? And this article confirms, well, it's not the article itself, but Mikhail Novakovsky, and I'm sorry if I butcher that name, I'm not Polish, but I think I did an okay job, who is the Joint Chief Executive Officer at CDPR, confirmed that The Witcher 4 is aiming for 2028. What other game, I wonder, is aiming for a 2028 release? That would be The Elder Scrolls 6. Which is so funny, because this time they're not really competing between fantasy and post-apocalyptic. They're not competing between science fiction and a different take on science fiction, cyberpunk. They're actually competing head on for the best fantasy title of that year. And I mean, if one of them is gonna win, my money is on CDPR. And I'm saying this as a Bethesda fanboy, okay? Skyrim is my favorite game of all time. I love The Witcher 3, but Skyrim has my heart. I do think that The Witcher 4 is gonna demolish The Elder Scrolls 6 because of Bethesda's track record. And if you've seen my past videos as well, you see that I'm somewhat critical of Bethesda, and I want to criticize them for what actually needs to be criticized. I'm not super cynical. Actually, today I filmed another video that's going to be released after this one about cynicism versus skepticism, but that's just another reason for you to subscribe to this channel. I'm just saying to look out for that video. But in this case, where The Witcher 4 is going to come pretty much in the same timeline as The Elder Scrolls 6, I can't wait to see the comparison videos on that one. I don't know. I don't really know what exactly to think. I know that they're running on completely different engines. The Witcher 4 is confirmed to be running on Unreal Engine 5. Actually, a brand new version of Unreal Engine 5. It seems that Epic is working in collaboration with CDPR to enhance the engine and make it more compatible with open world games, which is going to be so interesting to see, because Unreal Engine 5 is pretty much notoriously known for not being that good for open world. And then on the Bethesda side, we have the Creation Engine that's going to be running The Elder Scrolls 6, and we're going to see those comparison videos, and it's going to be glorious. Probably glorious, not the right way to express this, but I'm a fan of the creation engine, and I think that when used right, it could actually be a very powerful engine, better, in my opinion, for Bethesda-style games than Unreal Engine 5. But we'll see where that's gonna be with the Witcher 4. Now, I don't really have any arguments other than that for this video. It's basically like an off-the-rip, no script video, just me getting excited about The Witcher 4 right now. This whole situation kind of reminds me of the Horizon games. So in case you don't know, Horizon Zero Dawn, which is the first game of the series, came out in 2017, pretty much at the same time as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which took that game, crumbled it to pieces, threw it in the garbage, and won Game of the Year that year. Horizon Forbidden West came at the same time as Elden Ring, or at least in the same year, and it was completely overshadowed by the Erdtree. The Shadow of the Erdtree. Well, no, that expansion came out the year after, but anyway. So it was demolished by Elden Ring, and we don't know when Horizon 3 is going to come out because that whole studio is going through a whole live service crap bullshit drama going on. But I think it's really funny that every single release since Fallout 4 over 10 years ago, Bethesda is going to be compared with another studio. In this case, CDPR, all 3 times that it happened, or at least that it's going to happen. And one way that CDPR is clearly going to be winning is their release schedule. Looking at this here, looking back at the article, we see that we could see The Witcher 5 in 2031 and The Witcher 6 in 2034. So this is 3-year intervals between major releases in the franchise. Bethesda would never, not even taking into account individual IPs, Bethesda cannot release a game within 3 years. Back in the day, they were able to. Oblivion and Fallout 3 came out within 2 years, and then they gave the license to Obsidian, and they were able to make Fallout New Vegas 2 years after Fallout 3. But then everything crumbled when they decided to go with, Fallout 4 took 4 years to make, and then Fallout 76, which took forever. They had to change the engine for that to work. They had to change the engine again for Starfield, and now they're changing it again, it seems, from Creation Engine 2 to Creation Engine 3 for the Elder Scrolls 6. And I don't know what's gonna happen afterwards, but it's so funny to see that Bethesda is pushed into a corner once again, it seems. And it's a corner that they don't really seem to be out of, and I really want to see what's gonna happen and how the company is gonna change, if it ever will. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys are thinking about it. Do you think that The Witcher 4 is gonna blow us away and it's gonna completely eradicate the Elder Scrolls 6 from the map? I think it's a really funny situation to be in. It's not funny for Todd at all, but it's funny for CDPR since they know that they're gonna demolish that title once again. I'm running out of breath. I want to hear what you guys are thinking, so leave a comment and leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already, and subscribe for more The Elder Scrolls 6 content. Maybe Witcher 4 content as well. Who knows? Maybe when we're gonna hear more about that, there's gonna be enough to make a video about. I'm not as familiar with CDPR as I am with Bethesda, so I guess I'll have to do more research on that. But yeah, if you want to talk more about the Elder Scrolls 6 and why it might not necessarily be the game of the generation that Todd would be expecting, click on this video. I'm not expecting it to be the game of the generation, but I'm just saying it could be if they do all the things right, which they probably won't, but I guess we'll see. Or you could click on this video if you want to see, I guess, something else. I don't know what I'm going to put here. We'll see. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Leave me alone.